Hello students, welcome to AKS IAS. In this lecture, we will look into how to ace the art of answer writing, especially for UPSC Civil Services Mains examination. Many aspirants often ask this question as to how to write a good answer, how to write a great answer, how to write answers that fetch more marks. Here, let us try to understand what is the fundamental difference between a good answer and a great answer. So, if you ask me, the difference lies in the structure and the logical continuity. Okay, so here we will try to look at some important guidelines on how to write a great answer. To start with, for any question given in the examination, try to ask this question. Find what are you really supposed to answer based on the question that is asked in the examination. Try to find out what is expected of you, what is the expected answer of you by the examiner. Here we will try to understand it by a question from the UPSC Civil Services examination of the year 2019. So this is a question asked in the GS paper 2, which states that the Parliament's power to amend the Constitution is limited power and it cannot be enlarged into absolute power. In the light of the statement, explain whether Parliament under Article 368 of the Constitution can destroy the basic structure of the Constitution by expanding its amending power. So in the above question, you are supposed to explain whether the Parliament can destroy the basic structure of the Constitution. Okay, this should be the prime focus. Okay, this should be the prime focus when you write an answer to this kind of question. So did you get this core requirement correct? To find the core part of the question correctly, you have to do the following process. Number one, find the keywords that are given in the question. So in this particular question, what are the keywords that we have to identify? Number one, Parliament's power to amend the Constitution. This is one of the keyword. Number two, Article 368. This is another keyword. Number three, the basic structure of the Constitution is another keyword in this particular question. So when you write your answer, ensure that you touch all the main keywords given in the question. So this is the core focus which you have to keep in mind while writing an answer. Next important aspect of answer writing is answer the question according to the question directive. So go through the same question again. Okay, was there a question directive? So in the above question, the directive was explain. So this is a directive given in the question. So usually explain, elucidate, discuss, analyze, critically analyze, elaborate, etc. are all the directives which have a different meaning. So when you answer a particular question, you should answer it according to the directive given in the question. We shall try to explain the minute differences in each of these directives in another lecture. The next important point of answer writing is to structure your answer with the correct logical flow. Okay, so what do you mean by this? Make sure that your answer contains a well-planned introduction. Okay, it also contains a body and a sound conclusion. As far as UPSC marking pattern is concerned, there are marks allocated for each part of the answer. So thus, impressive introductions and conclusions play a great role in boosting your marks. However, what matters most is the content. It is the content present in the body of your answer that makes a difference for you to get better marks than your competitors. Having said that, now the question arises, what should be an introduction like? So here you can simply understand that your introduction should be nothing but to state your thesis. That is, a thesis is a statement. It is a statement that is put forward to be proved. Your introduction in this answer should put forward the unproven thesis, which will be your opinion in most of the cases. Okay, it is usually the opinion which you would like to explain in later part of your answer that is put forward as an introduction. Okay, this thesis should be proved and substantiated by quoting facts and examples in the body of the answer. Note that introduction is not the summary of your answer, but rather it should be a thesis of your viewpoint and your opinion, which is to be substantiated by the facts and examples given in the body of the answer. Now let us come to what should we write in the body of the answer. In the body, you try to justify the thesis, justify your opinion. So you try to present your arguments logically in the body of your answer. You try to touch all dimensions, namely the socio, political, economic dimensions, and give different examples so as to substantiate your viewpoint. For instance, if the question is something related to India, don't just present from the point of view of the central government. As you know, India is a federal country. You may think from the perspective of states and even bring factors affecting local governments. And that's how you can bring this multi-dimensionality of the central government, state governments, and the local self-governing bodies so as to bring the different dimensions and the multitude of dimensions into the body of the answer. Now let us look into what do you have to write as the conclusion to the answer. To put it simply, the conclusion should consist that you are supposed to prove your thesis. Okay, you have given a thesis in the introduction, you have substantiated in the body of the answer, and in the conclusion you try to prove the thesis which you have given in the introduction. In the conclusion part, you should state that after analyzing the various examples that you have given, the various facts that you have given in the body, this has been proved, that is, your thesis has been proved. The conclusion should be logically derived from the introduction and the body of the answer. If your thesis is positive, your conclusion should be positive in nature. If your thesis is negative, your conclusion should also be negative. That is, if you presented a negative outlook in the introduction and body, then don't deviate abruptly from the same and provide a positive futuristic standpoint in the conclusion just to impress the examiner. You are supposed to prove your thesis which you have given in the introduction and substantiate it in the body and then prove it at the conclusion in the end and not contradict what you have said in the introduction. Okay. So having discussed what are you really supposed to answer and how to structure your answers with the correct logical flow, now let us try to discuss what should you not forget while writing an answer. What should you not forget while writing an answer? Number one, stick to the word limit. Okay, so sticking to the word limit helps you score better in the examination. Some questions may have the word limit set at 150 words. Some others might be having set at 250 words. So depending on the word limit given in the question, you have to try to structure your answer in that way. Carefully check the word limit before you start answering. As you won't get time to check the word limit for every answer in the examination or hall, make sure you try this while doing the answer writing practice. And in this endeavor, the AKS IAS Academy mentorship program is going to help you to a great extent This hand-holding program of AKS IAS Academy will help you to write answers in a time-bound manner and answers which are relevant for the examiner. So a general thumb rule which can be helpful in the exam hall regarding sticking to the word limit is that if the question is of 150 word limit, then the answer should be written within 1.5 page. That is 1.5 page. Usually you can measure this by the A4 page size. So when you're writing a 150 word answer, it should be one page and the other half of the next page. If it is a 250 word question, okay, then write the answer not going between 2.5 pages. That is two sides of an A4 page and half of the A4 page. So precise answers will not only help you fetch better marks but also saves a lot of time in the examination. As you use your time effectively, you will be able to write all the questions, answers for all the questions in a much effective manner rather than giving more importance to a particular question and neglecting other questions which will not help you in scoring good marks. Next, try to address all parts of the question. Not all questions are focused on a single topic. There may be questions which may be divided into 2 or 3 parts or more. While answering such questions, make sure that you address each of these subparts. Okay. So primarily you have to try to identify the different parts of the question and then to answer it accordingly. The next important factor is to give examples to substantiate your answer. Without examples, your answer would be so dry and uninteresting for the examiner. You need interesting examples to justify your arguments. If possible, use an example each to substantiate each of your main points or arguments. The next important ingredient of an effective answer is the use of simple language. You can also use point formats to explain. You can use small and simple sentences, avoid jargons and flowery languages. You can use points inside the body part of your answer. Okay, if you feel that will make the answer stand out. If you prefer paragraph way of writing, break your contents into smaller paragraphs whenever possible. The next most important aspect is to bring in creative thinking and critical thinking into an answer. Please remember that even if automation replaces everything in the world that human beings can do currently, it can never replace creative and critical thinking. Okay, no wonder UPSC is looking forward for this quality in the future candidates. The commission sets out most of the questions with the popular directive that is critically analyze. So this is the most popular directive that UPSC gives for most of the questions. If the question demands creative or critical thinking, your answers should be in that direction. If you're asked to critically analyze, be sure that you present both sides, for and against, and then try to give a logical conclusion in that particular answer. Next, try to express your opinion and bring in original ideas. UPSC asks many questions seeking your opinion or viewpoint. Okay, so consider one of the question which was asked in the UPSC Civil Services Mains Examination 2019. The question said, do you think that the Constitution of India does not accept the principle of separation of powers? Rather, it is based on the principle of checks and balances. Okay, and the keyword given, that is the directive given, was explain. So here you can see in this question, the examiner is trying to seek your, informed opinion on such issues at disposal. In this question, UPSC had directly asked your opinion, so you cannot run away without giving your particular opinion. In this question, rather than adding the quotes of experts, mention your own opinion, which is logical, informed, and rational, and then substantiate it with the facts and examples. UPSC will appreciate candidates with fresh and progressive as well as original thinking. So, to sum up our discussion on how to write a great answer, these are the concluding remarks that we can sum up. Number one, you need to write a well structured answer. To score high marks in the UPSC Civil Services Mains examination. By being well structured, it means to have a logical connection. Logical connection between the introduction, body, and the conclusion. Also, make sure that you understand that what is really asked in the UPSC question before you start answering it. This can be understood by carefully observing the keywords and the directives given in the question itself. Number 4, state your thesis clearly in the introduction. Number 5, give examples and facts to substantiate your view in the body of the answer. Try to cover multiple dimensions, as many dimensions as possible, like the socio, cultural, political, economic, in the body of the answer. Then try to end the answer, by unequivocally that your thesis is proved based on the discussed arguments, facts, and examples. Thus, if you maintain the flow and logical continuity throughout your answer, you will definitely get good marks in the UPSC mains examination. All the very best. So, students, for any further updates and these kind of information regarding your preparation, you can log into www.aksias.com or download the AKS IAS mobile app on Google Play Store. Thank you. Have a good day.